And here we go, we've got our first crew of the day coming in down to the ramp, and I mean, Cap looks like he's got it on the ready. We've got somebody in the bow, somebody on the side of the gunnel, ready to roll. Let's see how the approach works out. But welcome back, crew, to the greatest show on earth, and that is the Miami Boat Ramps channel. I'm your host, Broncos Guru, and today we are down here visiting 79th Street. So our guy's coming in with a pretty good approach speed. Let's see how he does on the angle. So we've got the bow pointing toward the dock, stern starting to kick around. I feel like he kicked it around just a little early. But we'll see. Maybe the current and wind won't mess with him too much and he can come in from that straight lineup. So our girl on the bow, I saw her toss the line. It looks like she might have got it on the first try even. But now Cap is going to back out and kick the stern back out. And I don't know, it's tough to tell from this angle. It looks like she might have went for another shot at it, but maybe that was with a second line. But overall, I mean, it looks like they're probably on. And we're going to have another boat coming in right beside them, and let's see how this crew fares as they approach as well. But overall, I can't complain. That first crew hit it pretty solid. I mean, you know, it's not typically how we start things off here at Miami Boat Ramps. I mean, because it looks like she's got the lines on, and they're good. Cap's kind of hovering around the helm. So the Sea Pro that just passed, I think they thought they were going to go to that last dock. Somebody's there, so they're going to come back over. And I have to imagine they're going to go at the dock right next to this crew that just came in. So Cap's going for the turn in. Again, somebody ready with the lines. I'm not sure what's happening here today. This is not usual at 79th where we've got people coming in. People are already handling lines. I mean, normally when we see them coming in, everybody's doing everything last second in full-on panic mode. But today, it looks a little different. Now, our Cap here looks like he might struggle a little bit. He's coming in at a little bit of an odd angle. Stops it before he gets there. Now he's going to try and get that bow back in. And he's going to leave the helm for some reason. But it'll work out. He'll go over and grab the pole himself and try and bring the boat around. But now the bow's coming in and the stern's kicking out. Our young lady gets off the vessel with the line. And there we go. They'll bring it back around. And this crew, I believe, should be good to go from here. And here goes our next crew. Oh, the guy's pulling out. They forgot to trim the motor up. And man, they wound up dragging the motor on the concrete on that one. Unreal. Always got to remember to double check that trim. Fortunately, some of his crew was still standing on the side and they saw it. But man, we'll have to go back to the replay and take a look at this one. But they just missed it a little too early. But man, they banged that engine around coming up the dock. And here you can see on the replay, they just wound up dragging it up the dock again. Just a forgetful moment where somebody forgot to do it. Fortunately, it doesn't look like there's any major damage. I don't see the skeg broke or anything like that. It looks like they just pushed it up. And they were able to trim the motor back up as well. Sometimes the motor will get hung up. As when you stop on the vehicle, it rolls back a little bit and it kind of locks that motor into the concrete. But they're able to get it off. I don't have a clue what she's doing here, but she was hanging over the side of the gunnel down into the water for some reason. I'm not sure for what reason, though. So Cap's looking back at her saying something, but I'm not 100% sure what. And right here, she's still kind of hanging over the gunnel. Got two cups in the hand. I don't know if she's trying to clean something off on the boat, if she was maybe trying to clean something off from the cups. But I definitely don't think this is the water I'd be putting anything in to try and clean anything with, as this is just a little crazy down here with this water situation. But, I mean, she's back at the helm now, so it must have not been anything too big. So we've got our crew trying to load the boat on the trailer here, and we're going to try and go for the walk-on load. He kicks it over and almost falls in as he's doing that. And now they're going to try and walk this one on with the lines, but we've got the old floating trailer situation here. If you can't tell, one of those guide poles is a little higher than the other. That's because the trailer is actually floating. And the only way to get that to stop, of course, is going to be to get some weight on it. So typically it's one of those moments where you'd want to try and drive this on, but our crew's going to go for this approach. And let's see how that one works for them, because they're struggling early with this. As our guy from the stern's trying to pull it up, but all he's really doing when he does that, he's just pulling the stern closer to the dock as they kind of just bounce it around the trailer. And they might be okay here. It looks like it's finally leveled itself out a little bit, which means they probably got enough weight on it where the trailer is centered, and they might be good to winch this one up now. So our next crew's coming in on approach to the dock. And this one's always an interesting one. So got the bow rail, flat bow basically. It's always an interesting scene when we see people get up there, but we've added the mat to the mix to try and make it a little more difficult. And it's a Cap and one other person on the boat, so I'm assuming, well, I thought the one other person was going to get up in the bow and do the lines. Cap opens the window on final approach now. And gonna miss on the first attempt, have to brake check it back and try again. So Cap, he's kind of coming in at a funky angle. I can't tell if he's trying to go on to 5 or 4 or what he's doing. And somebody just asked him where he was going, and he said, yes, 6. He's trying to go to 6. Which was just odd. He was coming in at such a funky angle. I thought for sure he was trying to go to 4 or 5 and was just missing that bad. But, I mean, missing on 6, I mean, heck, he wasn't even in the realm to try and go to 6. So now he's going to back out and try and line it up. What's interesting is his girl that's in the boat hasn't moved to the bow yet either to try and get the lines ready or anything. And Cap's leaving the helm and walking up. He's really not even that close to the dock. He's just left the helm and gonna let it float, I guess. So he grabs the lines. I mean, he's drifting toward the dock. Goes for the leap. And my guy's gonna walk it on. That's an interesting approach setup though, because he really wasn't that close to the dock when he left the helm, but he just figured he was just gonna let it float on and let it roll and roll the dice and see where he winds up. And fortunately for him, it worked out and he winds up on the dock. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Miami Boat Ramps. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, does some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.